This interview was made possible in part by a grant from Arts DFW.
At the Amon Carter Museum of American Art, speaking with Assistant Curator María Beatriz Carrión about the exhibition Cowboy. Hi Maria, thanks for talking with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for being here.
We know that you're not the curator of the exhibition since it came from the Museum of Contemporary Art in Denver, but I'm hoping you can tell us a little bit about what sparked the interest of bringing this exhibition from Denver to Fort Worth.
Yeah, that's a really great question. So, as you know, the Amon Carter, the Carter, was for a very long time a museum that focused on the history of Western American art, and particularly one of the narratives that the museum proposed for a long time was the idea of Westerning and understanding what that meant in terms of the art of the United States. But you know, as the museum has changed, our understanding of the American West and the art of the region has also transformed. And I think that altogether the goal was to bring an exhibition that would expand the museum's presentation of the American West and also create a more accurate understanding of a very important figure of regional art such as the cowboy.
So like you just mentioned, the Amon Carter has been known for a lot of exhibitions about cowboys, and so what about this show is different from those exhibitions that we usually expect when we're looking at images of cowboys?
Yeah, so I think that one of the main differences is going to be that the traditional cowboy, and this is of course an imagined figure that we usually understand as being, or we usually imagine as being white, a man, and also usually straight. This exhibition decenters that idea, and it is trying to bring attention to other communities in which cowboy culture has been prominent since the 19th century. So I think that it is almost a complement to some extent and an expansion of our legacy galleries. But what you will see here is it speaks more to the lived experience of different communities. It is challenging gender stereotypes linked to the cowboy, and it is also critically engaging with 19th century histories.
So one of the things, there's a lot of artists that have a lot of different backgrounds that's included in the show. Mm-hmm. Are these artists typically associated with art of the American West, or do they fall in a different kind of category of art altogether?
Yeah, I think that that's a really fantastic question, because I think that a lot of the artists in the West Coast, particularly California, we tend to understand them as, you know, LA-based artists or just California artists. Coastal work, right? But I think that in the exhibition, the definition of the American West is also being challenged. I think that a work that really makes that point is the photographic production of Akasha Rabut. So she is an artist originally from Hawaii, but she lives in New Orleans, and what she did is depict black cowboys in the city. So I think that it challenges the traditional understanding of the cowboy and the traditional understanding of the West, because these are urban horse riders in the Deep South, and they also have a different relation to their horses. They do this for fun and not because it is labor. So it is a very different exploration of that topic. So I would say that some artists in the collection, like Melchin, for example, would be typically associated with the American West, but others not necessarily so.
So thinking a little bit about how the exhibition curators thought about this at MCA Denver when they put it together, in their exhibition catalog, they talk about how they saw this exhibition as recontextualizing the popular mythology surrounding the image and concept of the cowboy. Can you talk about a few of the works in this exhibition that really do that well?
So I think that a work that maybe I would point to two works that I think do that. One is a little bit more conceptual, and it is Andy Warhol's Horse, which is a video that you can watch, you know, in the galleries. And I think that Horse is very interesting because it's this video that shows the fiction of the Western, where you can see the cameras, where you can see the microphones, where you can see that people are acting and hear how the director is directing the scenes. And I think that that really points to the constructedness of the idea of the Western. And I think that it is very effectively showing us that, you know, the cowboy and even the Western as a genre is fictional, it is created, it is composed. So I think that that work achieves that very effectively, and maybe all of the works in that first room, I think, are really pointing to that, to the deconstruction of the myth. I think that a work that also does these, that also challenges the traditional understanding of the cowboy would be the one that we have here by Khalil Joseph. So this is a 3-channel video installation that centers around a small town in Oklahoma that for a very long time was called Wildcat. And this was a town of black cowboys. And they continue to have a very strong black rodeo culture. So I think that this work is engaging with those stereotypical understandings of the cowboy, in as much as you have horses, rodeo culture, hats, plaid, denim, but at the same time, the cowboy that they are showing is different. It is a different body, it has a different skin tone, and it is showing that cowboys have always been diverse, right? This is not just a contemporary reality, and since you brought up Nora and Miranda, the curators, I really like this fact that they include in the catalog when they say that about 30% of cowboys working in the American West in the turn of the 20th century were cowboys of color, which means again that for a very long time, since the beginning of Western American cowboy culture, communities of color have been present.
To kind of follow up on that a little bit, it seems like as part of their curation, there was a lot of interest in bringing in artists of different backgrounds and ethnicities as well. So we see Asian American artists, Latinx artists, and also Native American artists that are included. How do you see that as important in terms of kind of rethinking what cowboy is?
Yeah, I think that that is very important. I would also say that they are paying an equal amount of attention to queer artists working today, and even, a couple of decades ago or a few decades ago, like Warhol. And also they are thinking about the work of women in the American West, which I also think is a very important intervention. So I think that it is important because it offers a more accurate understanding of who are the artists of this region of the country and who have always been the communities that have inhabited the region. This is why I was pointing earlier to the Kenneth Tam, because that is a work that speaks to 19th century history. So this is not a work that is saying nowadays, right, Asian Americans are present in the American West, but really the history of Asian immigration to the American West contributed to the shaping of the region. So I think, I think that that is the importance of that, yeah.
Just a little bit of your own personal taste. What are some of your favorite artworks that are in the show?
Yeah, so I have several. It is very hard to choose. So I would say that one of my favorites, it's certainly the installation with the adobe floor that is very prominently featured within the exhibition. It is called Querías Norte, and the artists involved are Rafa Esparza and Fabián Guerrero. So I think that that is a work that people should definitely spend a lot of time listening to and observing. And another one is this one here. It is a work by Yumi Roth and Emmanuel David. These are two Filipino-American artists who kind of explored the Filipino presence in the history of the Wild West show, particularly paying attention to a troupe of Filipino performers who worked for Cody, that is William Cody, also known as Buffalo Bill, for a very long time. I just think that it's a work that engages with this very rich history, but the product of that, of years of research is something that is very accessible to viewers. It is going to be shifting throughout the exhibition, and I think that it is a true way of saying these are the people that we need to remember were part of this history for a very long time.
As we kind of end our conversation, is there anything that we may have missed that you would like to share with us about the exhibition?
Yeah, I think that, I talked a little bit already about the fact that many of the artists are engaging with 19th century histories through a very critical perspective. I'd also say that something that is very unique about the exhibition, specifically within the context of our museum, is that many of the materials and the media used by the artists looks very different from other things that we feature usually. So we have barbed wire. To be able to build the Sparsa floor, we had to procure manure, dirt, hay. We have another 2 works that feature dirt as well. We also have some, sculptures made out of pins. We have sculptures made out of glazed ceramic. So I think that the materiality of the exhibition is also very different. And I think that there's something for everyone, regardless of our tastes.
All right, great. Thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you so much for being here and having me.
Find all of our videos and sign up for our newsletter at artthisweek.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.